reason or another. So if you didn't hear his response, Austin says he thinks he may have one of the Star Wars Lego.
You sure it's working?
It's recording. Why? Are you upset that you don't see all those comments that were there earlier?
So did it start a whole new stream?
Yeah.
So this is now a part 3.
Yeah.
Dang.
You wanted a long one.
Yeah, but I didn't want it to be 3 parts.
The stream ended 46 seconds ago. So that's where we are now. Actually, I'll be right back. You play.
Star Wars, a big series. It does a lot when it's played hidden. James is messing with his cell phone and it's throwing me off my game and my tone. I said, Revenge of the Sith is gonna happen on the 5th, and you're not gonna stop this stream. We're gonna keep it going till the end of the night.
No, we're not. We're not.
Sacrifice your
We're not
time.
gonna actually do that. So don't listen to what he's saying there. We're not gonna go until the end of the night. I couldn't last. What would you guys call me last night? Bitch made nigga. I'm pretty positive.
What?
Pretty positive this one I got called like 3 times last night. So like, that is what I am right now.
Who said that?
Pretty sure Dylan. And you didn't add the N.
That's good.
I guess he's not technically able to know that I'm telling him to come in.
Blah.
So, what were we talking about prior? We got to General Grievous in Star Wars Episode 3. I kind of skipped around a lot, so I apologize. So
that was really my only complaint, I think, with the movie.
Was Grievous
I
being
think
so
I'd have to
early.
watch it again. It's been a while. But I'm
Did
pretty
you
sure that's the only problem
enjoy?
I have.
Did you enjoy the fact that Obi-Wan got kind of put to the curb throughout that whole movie? Where like
It was weird, because, but it was
episode-
also weird in 2 that all of a sudden they're like, oh, for the sake of the plot, we got to split you guys up. And
yeah,
it's
they
like,
diverged them, but we got to have almost equal parts for
yeah,
both of them.
yeah.
Where then Episode 3, because the movies, honestly, in my opinion, the prequels were about not just Anakin, but also Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I think that
And
was
like-
a missed opportunity, is that they should have focused more on Obi-Wan.
No, I don't think they should have focused more. I think they should have just gave them the same equal balance that they did prior. Like, where they did in Episode 1, we got a lot of Obi-Wan. In Episode 2, we got half Obi-Wan, half Anakin. And in Episode 3, we primarily focused on Anakin, even though he didn't have... He had character development going throughout it, but he didn't have a ton of character development, nor did he have actually a lot transpired. Because the character development we really got for Anakin was in 2, and he kind of just stopped from there. The moment he killed the... What do you call them?
This isn't live. This is the last video.
Well, go back to that one. I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now. I clicked live and it told me it was live, and I was like, whatever. But
There. That's what we're on. So what if we got chat without knowing it?
it'd pop up there.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. I forgot there was that.
Anyways,
Yeah, sorry.
but yeah, like
So you think they should have had more shared screen time? See,
Yeah.
I'm in the opinion, I actually think, because starting from Episode 1, we're introduced to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. So they're the main characters.
Yeah.
And then they meet Anakin, and then Qui-Gon dies. So therefore, in my mind, Obi-Wan should have taken over as the main character, Anakin being the secondary character.
in
And
Episode 2.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it should have, in the same way that you have, except he would have gotten a lot more screen time, but how 4, 5, and 6 are about Luke, but then you have this overarching story about Darth Vader in the background.
Yeah.
And I think it should have been the same thing in 1, 2, and 3. It should have been about Obi-Wan, with Anakin's story being kind of in the background, following with it.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Which I don't... I guess,
That's not it.
I guess she's not able... She's not watching this, otherwise she would just... No, she probably didn't want to ask him there.
In the chat?
Yeah.
Well, we could have asked in the chat. Who's watching? Who is that? Yids.
Dude, my phone likes to make people think I'm drunk. You know how
Every
often,
time you text?
Yeah, you know how often people be like, James, how drunk are you? And I'm like, not at all.
What's that comment say? Look, isn't that a comment? Is that
Right here?
Dwayne?
No, bottom one. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Is that
live.
Dwayne?
Yeah, you're live.
Woo!
Okay, cool. We're just bad. I'm bad at my job. This is what's happening. I do apologize.
We're
Again.
live.
But yeah, no.
Thanks, Dwayne.
The thing is, actually, speaking of Dwayne, since you do watch Star Wars and you like it, I lost it. Don't worry about what I was going to ask you anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, what kind of lightsaber would you have? I'm just kidding. Teaser. There's an entire episode where Dwayne in chat explains what kind of lightsaber he would have, where it's a gauntlet, and that'll be airing soon.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. Okay. I was
Yeah,
like,
so that's a tease for a future episode that was recorded in the past, which goes back into our time travel talk. See, we travel through time.
Dude, so much is happening.
Yeah, we travel through time. Oh God. All right, I'm gonna keep focusing on episode 3. So, I think it would have been cool to follow up on. There we go. Cool. To kind of mirror the original trilogy in that way, that you have your main character and then Anakin's in the background. So then he's the background story the whole time.
So
but obviously he would be more involved in 1, 2, and 3. But I get where George was coming from, where he was like, "Well, I'm gonna make him the focus because it's a story about a father and a son." So it's like the original's about the son and then about the father. But I think it would have been cool to just like make it about Obi-Wan
Thank you.
make it about
We think it's pretty cool, too.
what?
I was just trying to chat.
Ah, yeah, cool.
But,
It's fun. It's cool. It's something I've been wanting from the beginning. Is I was like, we really need to do some, because it
and
also
honestly,
helps with the conversation
I would
to
say,
have people
honestly, it's
throw
nice
in
if you
some
guys
stuff.
add stuff as much as like
Like the asking questions.
Yeah,
That was
I'm
fun.
loving that you guys are doing this, and so thank you so much for being a part of the show and actually helping make this a little bit more interesting for people who don't want to talk maybe, and like that's what we want to see happening with the show. Eventually, it become more of a we interact with you guys, and you feel like you're part of a.
You want that.
Yeah, I want the audience to feel part of the show.
I'm saying that I noticed you want that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for noticing that. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. 6 feet. Whoa, 6 feet.
Oh, well, we're way past that now. Anyway, I guess I could have come out wrong. Anyways. But yeah, to episode 3. I don't know what much more to say beyond what I've added on the beginning of it. Because we get to see Anakin's development. We get to see his story. We get to see this angry, pent-up, almost teenager go from being this person who's now eventually told that he can be his own person, and then is told that he can't truly actually be his own person.
So it's like, hey, we're going to set you free. You're going to become a hero of the galaxy. Oh, by the way, here's all these rules, and you're not allowed to do the things you want, and you can't go save your mom. And
yeah, you can't do anything that you said, yeah, I want to do that because I get to do this. And they're like, no.
And that's why I also think it would be fun if episode 1 was changed slightly, just to see what it would be like. Because they say you're too old.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that's because you're too old for the indoctrination.
Yeah, because it's a cult. Mm-hmm. It's just, like, being a Jedi, I don't know why anyone want to
So it would have been really fun. It would have been really fun to see what it would be like as someone who's, like, grown up outside of the system to then be in a class with a bunch of, like, 4-year-olds.
Oh, yeah, because he's, like, 9 at that point where all of them would be like, I can barely hold lightsabers.
Yeah, and then being like, here's the Jedi code, and, like, there is no emotion, and blah, 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 and being like, teacher? And it's like, shut up!
My question is,
no questions.
Do we actually ever get the full Jedi code in one sitting?
Not in the movies.
Because do they not only say, like, parts of it periodically? Do we get the full thing in the all overarching?
not in the movies at all. They just say the
No,
only
there's
little
the
things
peace.
we get is
there is no emotions. There's only there's peace.
Well, no, you're not allowed to have possessions. Is basically you're supposed to love but not possess.
I'm
but they don't
almost
actually
like
say any of the mantra ever.
98%. 98%.
Someone in chat, what do you got here? In your opinion, do you think in the future remake all 9 episodes? No, don't.
Do we feel like it should be done? Your answer is no?
Wait, was it will it happen and then should it happen? Or is it do I think it should happen? Like, yeah, read it.
Do you think it should be do you feel like it should be done?
In your opinion, do you think in the future
should we remake all 9 movies?
They will remake. No, it's 2 different questions. Because it's, do you think in the future they will remake all 9, and then do you think it should be done? And I think, yeah, they're going to remake all 9 of them, and no, it's a terrible idea.
Okay,
you should stay away from it. Because, dude,
my thing is no.
No, you're right. They won't, because they already remade 4, 5, and 6. The story arc is done.
So, for what we have, I think they're just going to make more along Star Wars
but each
saga and series.
They're just going to keep the saga going, but it will be remakes.
I agree with you there. I hope
not. Yeah, I hope
but
not.
No, I don't think they're gonna actually remake any of them.
No,
they're just gonna call them new numbers. They're gonna become cult classics, even the new ones. As much as people are hating on them, they're gonna become cult classics.
I hope not.
But
there already is fan base.
There's a huge fan base, and then there's the Star Wars fan base of the old cult classic. That's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have new versus old of the cult classic.
Yeah, and eventually my people will die.
Yeah, because we're old.
And then the only people left are going to be the ones that said, 7, 8, 9 were the best
your
ones.
Your people will die entirely. Well, no, you're close to mine, because I know you're not a full purist, which I don't know anyone who actually is a full purist, but the ones who are, why?
I'm a purist. I think that the only one that ever should have been made is 4. I'm just kidding.
Again,
because then we wouldn't have Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, we wouldn't have actually the great movies that we ended up with. Granted, we had to suffer through some terrible movies series, but like, you know, what series doesn't have that? Yeah. You know, like, well, can you name an actual movie series that doesn't have crappy parts in it?
I haven't seen a lot of. Oh, thank you, Zachary. We all agree. What do we got here? Can you? What did it say? Chat.
Hey, Tech, could you read that for us? I don't know what
Can we all agree best standalone is Rogue One? Yes, I agree.
Standalone, Rogue One. Which we said earlier, but
it was in a different video. I actually would say beyond it being the best standalone, I'd say since Disney took over, it's the best movie they made.
Yes.
Was Rogue One.
Yeah.
And I still have issues with it.
Yeah, no.
Which, can I go into that for a second? Because I really have one main issue with it. And I think it's something that people didn't notice. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a lot of people did notice and they just were like, oh, it didn't really mean anything to me.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so in Rogue One, the only thing I dislike about it, well, okay, there's a few things, but this is the most important one. The rest of it is just like, that's just your opinion and everything. This is not just an opinion. This is like an actual, like, ruined the story. Watch Pixar remake them.
Yes.
Hey, dude,
I would love it if they did it.
Pixar can make them. Yeah, Pixar remakes them. I bet they'll be good.
They'd be freaking amazing. Everyone never mind.
Oh my god, why don't they just make it Toy Story? Why don't they just do Star Wars toys?
Dude, that would be awesome.
And then remake all of them.
Like, and have them, okay, yeah, no, I could see that, and I would love every bit of it. But, okay, so, your problem with Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One, the main issue I have, the one that is the too big to ignore. So you've got, IP Man?
Yeah,
You got IP Man in there, right?
What is his name? Daniel Yoon?
Does anyone remember any of their names?
Danny Yoon or something like that. Now, I have
not the actor. I mean the character.
I don't know. I have no clue what his character's name is.
Who are any of their characters?
There's the Mandalorian. That's not Mandalorian. There's It Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Mandalorian, because he has Mandalorian armor.
He straight up.
He just doesn't have a helmet. The heavy machine gunner.
Yeah.
It's actually about the two of them that I'm about to complain about.
Okay.
But the only character people remember the name of is the robot. But I don't remember his name either. But that's the one character that most people are like, oh, huh?
Is it not a she?
The robot? Yeah. No, you're thinking of Solo.
You're right. They're the same model.
Are they?
I think so.
I haven't seen Solo.
They're both like tall, weird, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the same model.
I haven't seen that one. But okay, so my main problem with Rogue One is we have a scene where Ip Man who, for people who, just to recontextualize, this guy is blind, and he's the only one in the group that believes in the Force.
Yes.
Right? No one else there believes it. It's all myth and hullabaloo.
They're like, but that was even in 1, 2, and 3.
No, I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah.
I'm just setting up the moment. I'm setting up the moment. I have no complaints about that. That's fine.
Okay. I'm ready to just fire for some reason. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why are you trying to defend something that I think you're going to be like, oh crap, you're right. That's what I think. Like, because I'm nothing I'm saying is actually negative. It's just that the movie, I think, forgets itself for a second. So, anyways, they're on the battlefield on Scarif, right? Yeah. And it's like, oh my god, I think it's I don't remember the exact reason, but there's like some button that had to get pushed, and they're heavily bogged down by the enemy, and it's Ip Man and the Mandalorian dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, holding his staff. And he's like, I'm one with the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force is with me, right? And he's walking out there, and no one's shooting him. And they're basically like, get down, blah, come back, you know? And he's just like, blah, da, 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 just mantra chanting. Doesn't get shot at all. Goes out, activates the thing that he needs to activate, and then dies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful moment.
Yeah,
my favorite moment of the
moment.
movie. That's my favorite moment of the movie. And that's also why I think I have a bone to pick with this scene, because they immediately ruin it, because then the Mandalorian guy runs out into the battlefield
and doesn't get
picks
shot.
The guy up.
And has that,
you know, and it's like, you're dying! Why are you dying? And he doesn't get shot. And I'm like,
shot.
so the dude the Force didn't help him. Like, he just walked out there and did it.
At that point, the question is like, why?
Were they actually not shooting at that area? They were just shooting around the area.
And then just one stray bullet happened.
Yeah, exactly. It was actually the opposite of the Force.
It's where you accidentally spawn kill somebody.
Yeah.
You're just like, grenade.
Look, kill. Yeah, it's like, I was actually trying to shoot that guy over there.
I was hoping to kill that sniper, but you know what?
Yeah, kill's a kill. Yeah, so that's the thing, is I think the movie forgot itself for a second to make a drama, to make a little bit of drama of like, oh my god, my friend is dead, or my gay lover, or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah,
or he's like, oh,
you're right. The
No.
Mandalorian character should have been hit.
No, or he should have not ran out there, or if he was running out there while he's running out there getting shot, but his armor's good enough.
Exactly.
It's like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, almost give him what's that movie? Maybe someone in the comments can help me with it. But like, I guess I could just use Lord of the Rings, because that's the closest one.
Okay, what you got? What you got from Lord of the Rings?
When Boromir gets shot.
Yes.
And then he's
beautiful
like,
scene.
And he gets back up.
And he keeps
killing. And then he gets hit again. And then he gets back up. Like, they could have even done something like that where he gets shot and like...
And he just doesn't care. He doesn't give a crap. And he just keeps pushing to go see his
like,
friend and be like, you better not be dead.
Yeah, exactly. Where he's just like, no! And like, even he could be bleeding out and hurt or wounded and you see the burn marks or whatever, and he's just like, I don't give a crap.
Because if I'm not mistaken, he does actually die there. But I'm just saying... Because everybody died. But I mean, I think he does actually die there.
Yeah, he dies holding him. I think the explosion or something like that.
I don't remember exactly. But the thing is, it was just that...
We're saying it's the best one Disney made. We're like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was
still Disney.
Just because it was the best one they made doesn't mean it was good.
I'm joking. Disney, you're okay from time to time.
Just because it was the best one doesn't mean it was good.
Yeah,
it's easy whenever you're comparing fecal matter.
Yeah, when you're comparing crap to crap.
Yeah,
that crap looks way better than that crap.
That one looks a lot nicer. I like the sheen and the shimmer on it.
It doesn't look nasty.
It's got a nice gloss.
Well, how are we talking about poop talk? This is gross.
It's got a nice swirl and it's set there, where the other ones are all like logged and roll. Yeah, that one definitely looks the best. You know, that's how I feel about Rogue One.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so that's my biggest issue right there, is because it's like you took the best moment of the scene and then immediately diminished.
You know what my biggest issue with the movie is?
What? Huh?
It's a line.
What? Huh?
It's a throwaway line.
Which one? Huh?
Rogue One.
Yeah.
The whole movie. Throwaway line.
What? Which line? Talking about in the credits or in the opening crawl?
No.
You talking about the fact that the movie is the opening crawl?
No, the fact that the movie is several good people died to get this.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah, where in the opening crawl of episode 4, where it says that, you know, the rebel spies were able to transmit the Death Star plans.
Oh, no, there's even a dialogue for it. So it's in the opening crawl, and there's dialogue for it.
Yeah, and then they made a whole movie out of it.
They made a whole movie out of just a couple throwaway lines. It's
well, I mean, they made a whole movie about the Kessel Run.
Well, we made a movie about Solo that they turned into the Kessel Run, and then gave us Darth Maul, because we had to incorporate...
I don't even know. I've still not seen that movie. I've still not seen that movie.
No, we haven't.
Remember how there was that huge
boycott?
Remember how there was a huge boycott?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've taken it to heart.
Or with dark, yeah.
I've taken it to heart. I still haven't watched it.
Do you know there's a lot of people who haven't, actually?
Yeah.
It's still the worst running Star Wars movie because of that.
Still haven't seen it.
But you know what? They still put out 9 and everyone
went and watched it.
Anyways.
Just because I was hoping they could redeem themselves.
They could.
And no, it was impossible. After The Last Jedi, it was impossible to fix it.
Rian Johnson showed up and said, here's a big pile of steaming...
No,
Bantha
Ryan showed up with a freaking hacksaw or C4 charges, you know.
It said, what's the Star Wars universe?
Yeah, exactly. Like, he showed up and he was like, I got an idea for this. Cut out that, cut out this, blow this up.
You remember that guy in the Atlantis movie? The Lost City of Atlantis?
You talking about the Disney movie?
Yeah.
The cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so because we're going to use them.
Oh,
we're gonna use them like,
oh, God.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
That's Ryan.
Yeah, that's
Ryan Johnson.
He showed up and was like, yeah, a little bit of nitroglycerin, a little bit of... It's like, that was what he did.
Yeah. I still would like to theorize what we got here. 9 was still better than 7 or 8 at least.
I actually agree with that. 7 was a remake of 4, which was a crappy remake of 4, and then 8 was, I don't even know what it was. It was a Star Wars.
8 was the worst.
It was a movie pretending to be a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it was a movie that told you it was a Star Wars movie.
It was just like, actually, this is Star Trek. I would have not been shocked if it was just like, at the end, dun dun, and then Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yeah.
It's been like, this
that makes
Trek.
sense.
This
okay, all right, yeah. Why did they use the wrong title at the beginning?
I didn't have such. I didn't realize Star Trek had lightsabers.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have fixed it.
That's exactly what that would have.
No, that what was I about to say? Freaking episode 8. Episode 8 is because like episode 7 is a bad remake of 4, and then episode 8.
It just smells like rubbing alcohol, right?
Yeah, basically. Episode 8 is... Oh, I know what I was going to say. I was going to talk about Rian Johnson. I still like to think that Rian Johnson is probably actually the biggest Star Wars fan out there.
And was really worried that they were going to
And he was like, dude... Because 7 was so bad and was like, this is clearly just a ripoff. You're not actually making a new movie. And he was like, let me just kill it right here. You know, I'll just make the biggest flop, kill the whole series, ruin everything so that we can just walk away from this. Just set it on fire. Let's walk away. Remember the first 6 movies? That's all. Explain what?
Explain.
Oh, no. We're not... No, I'm not talking to squirrels about episode 8.
No, we don't have to. I just want them to explain it.
Not doing it. Sorry, bro.
But anyways,
sorry, bro.
No, like...
No. Oh, my God. Is Squirrels Blake? Squirrels, if you're Blake, I'm so pissed off at you.
Oh, my God. I would love if that was Blake.
You better not be Blake.
No. Anyways, I lost all train of thought just now.
Why?
Why did I lose it? Because I just didn't have it.
No, but okay. So what I was saying though is I think he was either the biggest fan, but in reality, just from watching some behind the scenes stuff and interviews and everything, he had no cares that it was Star Wars. He did not care it was called Star Wars. He was like, here's a great opportunity to make a movie that a bunch of people are going to see. I'm going to make my own story. And it's like, no, remember, you're in a saga. And he's like, no, I'm going to make my own little story.
And see, that's the problem is he did it, and then the problem is...
Because that's why he's like, here's a bunch of random new characters. Let's just push those guys to the side. They're not that important.
We even showed it last night with our butchery of what we did.
Yeah.
The show must go on. So no matter what he put out, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They were like, we already agreed. We already know what
we told everybody we're making 3 movies.
The show must go on. And so that's why we got what we got, all right? Like, the way entertainment works is that no matter how bad it gets, please continue. How many times have we talked about the fact that being on stage and doing music? No. It's like, oh, you messed up. Don't act like you messed up.
Yeah, just roll with it.
Keep going.
Roll with it. And then that's why I think even everyone was like, no, it's all part of the plan.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why Palpatine got introduced, because we were planning on doing it.
Exactly.
That's why Snoke got
That's what you're told to
do.
He
was just in a jar.
It's just like, it doesn't matter.
Snoke's just Pickle Man.
And I love it because, like, that's dedication they did. I don't agree with what they did, but it's dedication to their act, to their no, I'm sorry. I'm actually gonna have to disagree that 9's the best one. I'd say 7's the best one. Out of all of them. Wow.
Well, out of the new 3.
Yeah.
7's the best one because it's not at least an utter abomination.
Because it repeated?
It might have just been a rehash, but at least it didn't. It couldn't fail.
I would rather them make a complete and utter garbage wreck of a burning trash can that they did that was 8.
They did
3 times.
Oh God.
Then have 7 again.
Wow.
The reason being is because why tell me the same stupid story?
No, I agree. No, I agree. I'm just saying that my logic behind this, right, is because of episode 9, you don't have to watch any movie 9's the only movie you have to watch.
Yeah, I'm glad about that. It means
no, as in, why watch 1, 2, 3? Why watch 4, 5, 6? 9's the only real one. Because all of that is just a waste of time.
No, the reason is
because there's no success from it. There's no story told there. It's all just, no, actually, Rey does it.
No, the story is what we get the build-up, that feel, the characters that we know. The story ended at 6.
The characters that get killed off for no reason.
The story ended at 6.
No, it didn't. It ends at 9 when Rey beats the bad guy.
The story
that our heroes failed to beat.
Just like 1, 2, and 3 in the story arc. 4, 5, 6 in the story arc. 7, 8, and 9 do their own whatever story arc they wanted to do.
I don't feel like you're seeing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you have 3 movies setting up one villain. You have another 3 movies where it actually turns out that they didn't do anything. Because immediately it's all reversed. The Empire's as strong as ever.
He's not dead.
And Palpatine's alive, and then Rey kills him. So that's the only movie you need to see.
Which actually, by the way, is a good form of storytelling. Hear me out. You ready? Hear me out. If you do it right. You can have...
Of course you can do it right. It was not done right, though.
That's what I was going to say. Because, think about Fable. Right? Lost Chapters.
Yeah, it's a good
one. We kill Jack.
Yeah, and then he comes back.
And then he comes back stronger and badder than ever.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a great actual story. People do it all the time.
But wouldn't it have been weird if all of a sudden they make, Fable 3 or Fable 4, and it's like, Jack's alive? Wouldn't you be like, whoa, you better explain yourself? And if they explain it right, you'd be like, okay.
I was going to say, I would have been perfectly fine with Jack because he was one of my favorite villains in that game.
But, what's the bad guy in 3? Is there even a bad guy in 3?
You.
That's what I thought, yeah. It's
the bad guy in 3. Does Obi-Wan forget that Leia is a Skywalker?
No.
Actually, that was answered in, what episode is that? Episode 5?
6.
Is this? I thought it was in 5.
No, I think in 5, Yoda says, don't worry, there's another.
Yeah, in 5 when he's like...
Referencing Leia.
When they're like, yeah, he can't, he's pushing too early, he's going to the freaking sky city, and he's like,
if he fails, there's another.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they definitely didn't forget. It was just, they didn't care.
It's just George didn't write it that way.
George didn't write that way.
George didn't know
I
they
like
were
to imagine that what happened
6.
is that the Jedis are as big of dicks as they actually are.
Oh, no, it's canon. Jedi are all assholes.
Yeah, and they were just like, we're going to trust this guy.
No, Jedi are all assholes. If they can call fire down from the sky... Okay, lightning. They can call lightning down from the sky.
Fire?
They can use or fire, whatever.
Yeah, it's fire, right?
Yeah, lightning and fire are the same element. Then you've got the ability for Force Ghosts to catch items, literally catch and interact with items.
Pull items.
Use the Force to lift things out. Call lightning from the sky. Okay, so you're telling me they can do what's the point of living? First off, if you're a Jedi, why be alive? Wouldn't you want to die as quick as possible?
And then because
it's like now I'm immortal.
Become the ultimate Jedi.
Yeah, and then also
now I can fight the bad guys.
Yeah, but I guess the point is actually to be like.
Was that the video you sent me where it was a cartoon? They all pulled out their lightsabers and were like.
Oh, at the how episode 9 should have been.
Yeah, and none of the Rey and Ben don't do anything.
Yeah, they just sit there all the time. Fuck you. Yeah. Freaking the Jedi are all dicks. Yeah, because they can turn into ghosts, and when they turn into a ghost, one, there's no point to be alive, so just become a ghost as quick as possible.
So
then, when you're a ghost, you just sit back and I guess drink some...
Sip your margaritas and use the Force willy-nilly. Because you are the Force.
Yeah, but then every now and then you're going to go talk to somebody to be like, hey man, get out there and do it. And it's like, wait, can't you do it? It's like, nah, I'm busy.
You encourage them to become... You encourage them to be just as strong as you, so when they show up dead...
You're like, good job, man.
Look at
Welcome to the good side.
Hey.
This is the better place to be. And he's like, oh, are you going to help the galaxy? Nah, it's irrelevant to us. We're dead.
Which my question is, did they learn all this from... what's his face?
Oops, somehow I rewound.
Could you tell me what the question is, whatever we're looking at?
Why wouldn't he tell Luke?
Oh, right, because he kisses his sister, why wouldn't he at least tell him, right?
Because George Lucas didn't write it until episode 6 that they're brother-sister. That's
Makes
the only
it even
explanation.
super awkward. Why would you do that at that point? Why retcon that?
I don't know.
Like, at that point, it's like...
I know.
Right?
Yeah. I know why, though. I know why. So there wouldn't be an actual, love triangle.
Was he upset that everyone thought there was going to be a love triangle in 5?
I think so. Or, that there was because it was leading up to a love triangle.
It was totally a love triangle.
Because they even kiss each other again in 5.
There's totally a love triangle.
So in 6, he wanted to go ahead and say, let's squash the love triangle. Han gets her. And I think that was the whole purpose of it.
We'll do.
No.
Our tech guy is off. Told us to ask you guys something, but we'll do that near the end of the episode, so it's fun. I'll do that.
No.
I will do that near the end of the episode. Anyways, so now I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying about the love triangle, but like, I'm not a huge fan of.
I think that's the reason, because I really do believe George Lucas. I actually was talking to you this the other day, but now that we're talking to people, I do believe George Lucas when he said, I had an idea for 12 movies.
Yeah.
I believe him.
Because that was...
Where he's like, I wrote 12 movies.
You and I both heard that, though. Yeah. Because that was one of the questions.
I believe him.
12 movies.
That does not mean I literally have every single character, every single situation, every single event, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I have an overarching story that I know I want to get from here to here.
The only authors I could actually imagine having that type of information and knowledge and know what they're going to do, like, per page and all that nonsense, is authors like...
Tolkien.
Yeah, Tolkien. No, because even he didn't know. Like, think how many times we have Glorfindel in the Silmarillion, and then how many times he brought him back. And the reason we even have Tom Bombadil is literally because his child bought a thing. Tom Bombadil is not a character in the Tolkien lore. He bought his child a statue of essentially a dwarf wearing blue trousers and a red shirt and gold pants or shoes and a hat.
And then it was like, I'm writing him into it.
No, and then his child was like, oh, that's an interesting. What is that, Dad? And then he started telling him bedtime stories of that character.
Oh, that's cool.
So Tom Bombadil is literally a bedtime story character. He had nothing to do with Lord of the Rings at all.
That's so cool.
And then he incorporated him after he had already had it. And think about it, he revised that so many times, so I couldn't even actually see Tolkien being one of those authors.
Okay,
the author
fair
would
enough.
be Arthur Conan Doyle.
What's he writing?
Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
And George R.R. Martin.
No.
The reason for George R.R. Martin is because
that dude doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's making it up as he goes.
Okay, sure.
Have you seen the interview where J.J. Abrams is doing an AMA where he's scrolling through video questions submitted by people?
No.
And then George Lucas asks him, what happened to Darth Vader's grandchildren? And J.J. laughs and says, you tell me, you made it all up.
It was the 70s.
Oh, so it's okay for them to kiss. It was the 70s, man. I mean, it was all good. Well, by the time... Well, yeah, that was the 4. Yeah, 4. But in 5, it was the 80s. So maybe they shouldn't have been kissing. I mean, I guess if they're from space...
Isn't there a movie?
Well, I mean, they're from...
Isn't there a movie that came out during that time period called The Kissing Cousins? Like, during George Lucas' time that he was doing that?
Don't ask me. You'd be the one that knows about that kind of stuff. But, you know, maybe... I mean, they are space hillbillies, right?
They're in the neck of the woods.
Yeah,
out
they're
there in
just
space.
freaking space hillbillies.
Well, she's not. She's from like she's
She's a
Washington
senator.
D.C.
Yeah, she's basically from D.C. or from the outskirts.
But anyways, I assumed you would know what I was talking about. Arrested Development. It's the only reason I even know.
Oh, is that a real movie? I thought they made that up.
I'm almost positive it was an actual movie.
The French movie that they went and saw? Yeah, I thought that was made up.
No, I'm almost positive that is a real movie.
Yeah, Arrested Development was amazing. Everything, well, okay, I was going to say everything but the Netflix version, but the re-edit
was
a lot better.
Way better. Because you and I watched the first initial, and
when it came out, I was like, this is not Arrested Development.
Yeah, it was such a bad
And then, for free, the dude that made the whole thing was like, I'm going to re-edit this to what I wanted it to be. Yeah, he didn't, and he re-edited it and then resubmitted it and be like, here, change it out for this, and revised the whole thing without pay. Because it's his baby.
Made it?
Yeah, it's his baby.
Isn't that Alfie? Alf?
Talking about Ron Howard?
Yeah.
No, Ron Howard is the announcer.
Oh, I thought he.
He's just the narrator.
I thought he had a lot of hand in that.
No, it's two other guys. I forget their names, but
okay, cool.
one of them was just like, okay. And
I'm never gonna
don't
take a
know
sip of this. I'm gonna get close to it.
You're just gonna keep. Yeah. I don't remember exactly why it was released the way it was initially. Maybe just for time constraints. But I know in an interview or whatever after it came out, because I was like, that just wasn't right. And I was looking at some interviews by him, and he was like, yeah, I'm actually going to re-edit the whole thing so that it feels like Arrested Development. And then after a couple years, it was finally done, and we watched through that, and we were like, this is better.
Yeah.
Still not as good as those
I was
original
on Netflix
seasons, but it was good. And I think they made another season.
Yeah, I
and
was on
then
Netflix a couple days ago, and it said new episodes of Arrested Development. And I was like, that can't be right.
Yeah,
In my head, like,
they've made one other season. I'm pretty sure I watched it too, but I can't remember. I remember those first 4
I
seasons.
haven't watched it yet.
I remember those first 4 seasons really well.
They're so
great.
good. We've watched it, but you and I watched those repeatedly. Where I remember McConnell hating the fact that we would watch it so much.
It's so good. How could you not like it?
But
and it's got freaking Sarah Green. Sarah Green's in it. Sierra Green. Tom Holland.
no,
John,
he's definitely not in it.
John Arbuckle.
I've known one of these names. If anyone
Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen. Right? Seth Rogen? Isn't that a guy? That guy's
I mean,
real.
it is a guy. It's just like Tom Holland was, but neither of them are that.
Who's the fat guy with the curly hair
Okay, so then the
in
question-
Breaking Bad and in Superbad. In Superbad, curly hair.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Yeah, wasn't he great in that in Arrested Development? I'm not gonna read that comment because I disagree.
Was it in? I don't remember Jonah Hill ever be. Freaking no! You're talking about
Macaulay Culkin. That was it. Macaulay Culkin.
Oh my god! Yes, we'll go with Macaulay Culkin.
He was great in that.
Oh my god! It took me so long to realize what you were doing. Screw you. All right, actually, hey Zach, will you read that out loud, kindly, sir?
No.
Yeah,
Don't. I
no.
refuse. I disagree with it. I don't want it heard.
It doesn't matter.
I don't want that spoken. The chat can read it themselves.
Dude, I love that show. Better Off Ted is a good show, okay, guys? I don't prefer it, but it is a good show. So, like, don't entirely agree.
That's why I'm saying why'd you even acknowledge it? Because
that's a good show.
It can be good, but it's not better.
He didn't list off a bad show.
It's not preferable.
Tom Cruise.
Yes.
What about
yes.
Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Wait, are we
That's
adding
it.
more people?
That was who it was. It was Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, he played George Michael Bluth Jr.? No. Yeah, George Michael Bluth. That was his full name. Yeah. He played that. It was Tom Cruise. Wasn't he great in that?
Tom Cruise was pretty amazing. He is a short human being.
Yeah.
He looked like a kid.
He's really good at that. And he said he did such a good job at impersonating Michael Cera.
Dude, the makeup.
The makeup was
Especially
great.
in the
yes.
newest season. Oh my god. Well, not the newest because I haven't seen that one. The one prior.
Yeah.
But no. Crap. I actually wanted to get back to Star Wars at some point.
How?
How
do we get back into Star Wars at this point?
Yeah, there's no way. We've derailed so
Let's just
hard.
talk about more Michael Cera movies, and then we can work our way back into. Oh, actually,
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
hold on. I can actually use Michael Cera to get us back into it. So I was watching this show, EFAP. Shout out to EFAP.
You know how else you can do it super quickly? Actually, because we were right there.
What?
Arrested Development, Jedi. Jedi fight. Jedi kid in garage practicing Jedi.
Oh yeah, they make Michael Cera the Jedi kid.
Yeah, the Jedi kid. Thank you.
Yeah. Or the Star Wars kid.
Whatever he was. That was the next.
I think it was the Star Wars kid.
That was.
But in EFAP, they made fun of Kylo Ren by calling him Kyle Ben, and then had someone Photoshop Michael Cera's face over Adam Driver.
Yeah.
With the hair and all that, and it's just like, because think about how non-threatening Michael Cera looks.
Dude, yeah, you saw Michael
and
Cera.
it's like I'm Kyle. I'm Kyle.
Dude, I can only imagine honestly seeing freaking Kylo Ren's mask, and then he pulls it off and
it's Michael Cera, and you'd be like, what?
It's like, please recast this movie. I will wait.
What? And it's like, hi, I'm Kyle Ben.
Which episode is your least favorite?
Which episode of what?
I don't know.
Which episode is your least favorite episode, James? Of what? Please and thank you. In about 10 seconds.
I'm assuming we're talking about Star Wars.
Or are we talking about Arrested Development?
Yeah, if you're talking about Arrested Development, there's a lot. I have a lot.
You actually have a lot you don't like?
I have a lot with Arrested Development. But, you know who was amazing?
I can go back and rewatch that show pretty well.
Fonz was amazing.
Oh, God, yes, he was. The Fonz was great in that show. The best lawyer ever. That's the best lawyer in any TV show ever. And like, I wish I could think of some exact quotes, but like how people would say some stuff and he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna, I don't know, just like he was in so many legal cases.
I wanted to do it too, where he's like, oh no, the one where he's getting sued while he's helping them sue somebody.
Yeah, and like he's on the phone and they're like, oh my God, his thing's going on. He's like, yes, my case is going really well. You guys know you're screwed.
Yeah, like, you guys know.
Yeah, but I'm getting out of these. I'm getting out of these charges.
Like, as a lawyer though, like,
and then he would always like they would talk for 5 minutes. He'd be like, "That's gonna be an hour." He'd be like, "I'm out."
You got to pay me for that.
Yeah, we're gonna just write this down as a full hour. It's like you said 2 sentences and left.
Yeah, dude, no, he was probably one of my favorite lawyers. The thing is, I really liked him. I learned to like him more.
Man, we were getting so close to talking about Star Wars again, and then you brought it back.
I'm sorry. But like, I thought about the Fonz. I was like, dude.
The Fonz! Yeah.
But no, the Parks and Recreation, he's in there too. And like, out of people, the reason it made me think of the Arrested Development is because we immediately talked about Arrested Development, and then I was like, Parks and Recreation. He's in that too. I was like, yeah, he's great because he's a doctor in that.
What season is that?
He shows up in like season. I think I have 7 seasons total, and I think he shows up in like season 3 or 4. And like it's
that's another one of those shows I stopped watching pretty early.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's like he's a doctor while he's fighting one of the main characters from the first season. He's like not fighting, but fighting them, being like, "I'm suing you. You're gonna give me your company. I'm gonna take every business thing you own." So like while he's helping their friends, he's like looking at the babies. Ultrasound.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you guys are doing so well, blah, 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 blah. And then Tom walks in, he's like, I'm going to ruin you. As he's doing it. He's just like, yes.
I'm waiting for that clarification. Which episode is your least favorite episode, James? All right, squirrels, what?
If you're talking about Star Wars, my least favorite Star Wars episode is episode 2, which should have been last night's episode.
Nah, dude, let's not talk. Let's pretend last night didn't exist.
I can't, because it did. It was a train wreck, but it existed. It was our beautiful train wreck. Yeah, no. If we're talking about Star Wars, it's episode 2 because it was god freaking awful. And I know I've already said stuff about 7, 8, and 9, but those don't exist in my mind. So yeah, you're getting only episode 2.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9. That's a fan fiction written by Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams.
Exactly.
And man, they really don't know how to write Star Wars movies.
The thing about J.J. Abrams is he asks great questions. He doesn't know how to finish. He doesn't know how to tie it in. He doesn't know how to do anything with those questions.
So you're talking about the mystery box.
Yeah, exactly. He's great at making you be like...
That's the problem with Lost.
What is going to happen?
That's the problem with Lost.
And then he's like... Wait, what is going to happen, guys?
I don't know, guys.
And we're like, well, you're the one writing the story, and all his producers with him are like, you're writing the story. He's like, but what's going to happen? Tell me. What's happening here?
Like, but you're the one that came up with the... No, I don't know the answer. You tell me what the answer is.
It's like when some kid asks you, like, when, you know...
Well, that's why in episode 9 he brought in, like, 2 other writers, and he didn't write... Like, he didn't really write episode 9. He just had other people write it, and he was like, that sounds good.
He didn't know how to answer his own questions because Rian Johnson refused to.
Yeah.
And he was just like,
it wasn't that it, like, it was literally like, I asked a bunch of questions, and I'm like, here, Ryan, answer these questions. And you're like, I don't like that question, and get rid of that. Oh, this question, F that question. I don't like that question either. I'm not going to answer that. This one, I'll answer this question with another question. All right, this one, yeah, throw that out.
It's like 2 different kids doing a test, all right? You have Rian Johnson who's like, you know that kid who's like, the parents were told them, or even sometimes their teacher was like, if you don't know the answer, just go to the next one. You know? Right? Yeah. So Rian Johnson was that one who was just like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to draw a ship here. And starts doodling after 5 questions that they don't know how to answer. Just like, I'm not going to pass this test. And they just start...
And then turns it in.
Yeah.
Turns it back into JJ, who's the guy that made the test. And he's like, oh, crap, I can't finish this.
Yeah, JJ was the guy who made the test and was like, I just was really hoping they could help me.
I don't know the answers either.
I was in college and I was doing my physics exam and I didn't know the answers.
That's hoping the kid did.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, unfortunately I've got all these doodles on the page. I'm just going to make the rest of it up and turn it in and hope I get a good grade.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what transpired. But yeah, so 7, 8, and 9 don't exist in my mind, so 2 is the worst Star Wars movie.
Agreed. Yep, 2. Yeah. 2 is the worst one.
It's just it could have been a movie that could have been skipped or done or told better.
Yeah, but I mean, if you could go back and redo 1 a little bit, then 2 could have been amazing.
Dude, yeah.
But that's the thing
right.
is,
if you changed just a little, if you tweaked 1 a little bit,
I think I'm just gonna say 1 actually. You think 2? I'm gonna go say 1 because if you just start at 2, then you're fine. You don't miss anything. Huh?
Why? If you just start at 2, how is that fine?
Because they're like, here's Anakin and Obi-Wan, and that's how the movie starts.
We don't know who Anakin is. We don't know his purpose. Why does it matter? We just know he's a villain at this point now. We
know Anakin from watching 4, 5, 6.
Oh, that's actually a question I do have the answer to. So, the question is, why do you think some Jedis disappear after they die? So, the answer to that is how in tune to the Force they actually are. Just like when Qui-Gon Jinn died, he didn't disappear, right? When Mace Windu, if you want to just go based off of movies and not fan theories, when Mace Windu died, he didn't technically disappear. When half of them die, Shaak Ti, Plo Koon, and all of them die, they just didn't disappear. But then you have Yoda and Obi-Wan who disappeared. Now, that being said, the only actual reason that Yoda and Obi-Wan disappeared is they were taught by Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghost to actually inhabit the Force fully upon death and accept it instead of when we get older we're told to accept death. So essentially think about it that way, where they were told to accept the Force as their savior.
Well, I mean, in the Jedi mantra, to add to what you're saying, in the Jedi mantra, the last thing is there is no death, only the Force.
Exactly. So they were told to basically inhabit that last part of it. And I think really what it comes down to is Mace couldn't have done it. Plo Koon also couldn't have done it because, like Mace, he's not a straight...
What about Kit Fisto?
Kit Fisto? I don't know if he could have.
I just like saying his name.
His name is awesome, but no, I don't think he could have either. The problem that we ran into with the other ones is with Obi-Wan and Yoda, they lived long enough to learn this rule.
After you finish your answer, I'll give you the real answer.
Okay. But they lived long enough to actually fall into that ruling where they started training with Qui-Gon Jinn and using the Force and started practicing and doing their mantras and all their nonsense. Yeah. And then the rest of them, honestly, I don't think they lived long enough. And even if some of them had, ones like Mace Windu and Plo Koon, I don't think honestly could have been able to do it, period. Where Mace Windu had to inhabit the dark side of the Force, which is immediately conflict because it's light and dark. And since because Jedis believe that way, he would have never actually come to peace and terms with it. Where if you pay attention to what Yoda and Obi-Wan says as they're dying, they learn that the Force is literally just the Force.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's
but they
why
also keep talking about balance. And
they talk about balance, but because that's freaking Lucas's fault, okay? He kept really wanting to shove balance down our throats.
Alright, you want the real answer?
Yeah.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking Squirrel.
Don't worry, look at me.
Squirrel?
Yeah?
You want the real answer? So I'll give you the real answer. The real answer is George Lucas intended that all Jedi turn into Force ghosts. And then when he got around to making the prequels...
You go, Squirrel.
Is there a squirrel in there?
Yeah, it says you go, Squirrel.
Oh my god. How perfect is that?
I know, right?
But Squirrel likes episode 8, so I'm not a big fan of Squirrel.
Wait, you couldn't see it. I'm sorry, Squirrel. Here you go.
That's not in focus.
It's not in focus at all. Focus on this. Yeah.
There we go. You go. Yeah, there you go. That looks good. So the real answer is that George Lucas originally intended that all Jedi would turn into Force ghosts upon death, and that is the difference between the light and dark. Is the reason the dark side users want ultimate power is to try and gain immortality, because if they die forever, where the good guys turn into spirits and they essentially go into Shangri-La.
They shouldn't have written the freaking Star Wars Bible.
Then, whenever he got around to making episode 1, 2, and 3, he was like,
"You're welcome."
He was like, "Oh crap, there's way too many Jedi. How could I explain why none of them ever show up as ghosts?" Qui-Gon Jinn teaches him.
Well, no, I think he also had to backtrack because before we got he said thanks. But before we got episode 1 and all that, we still had some Star Wars books coming out. And then as we found out, due to holocrons and other stuff, Sith had Force ghosts.
No, they don't. They're not supposed to.
They do, though.
No, that ruins the whole idea.
Exactly. That's what I said. That's why he probably had to backtrack on himself because he messed up. He was like, yeah, oh, hey, don't worry. You remember that one Sith who took over?
Is there anything in the movies that contradicts fully, like, because I get there could be slight contradiction. Is there anything in the actual, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that is a straight contradiction?
In the movies, there's no actual.
Because that's all George Lucas made.
There's no, but
he greenlit things outside of it.
Yes, and
but I would put that as like he still didn't actually canonize them.
He
greenlit them, but in his mind, canon was just the movies.
He had to retcon them because the thing is, he still
didn't retcon anything.
No, he didn't.
Well, he retconned the Force Ghosts by saying, "Oh yeah, they did it because Qui-Gon taught him."
But like, he had to do what he needed to because
Qui-Gon didn't disappear. Qui-Gon actually didn't get a Force Ghost, by the way. He was just consciousness.
Yes, he was. He never actually got a Force Ghost, but he allowed writers, which was based off of the Force Bible, the Star Wars Bible, the Star Wars Bible. That he was like, these are things that are okay. These are things that are not okay. You can't do this. You can't do this, that, and the other. Right. Mm-hmm. So he gave them this world. They were allowed to build around. So these authors.
I don't know if he actually wrote a Bible.
No, it was actually it was a collection of papers, which is still essentially a Bible.
Yeah.
He was like, this is what you can and can't do, essentially. So like he gave
and I know for the longest time.
This was why it's considered a Force Bible. It's
LucasArts. I know for the longest time there was actually a lot of people that complained that George Lucas got in the way of developing games and stuff like that because he would be like, no, if it's doing that, it needs to be like this. Oh, it needs to be like that. No, that doesn't make sense. That's wrong. And some of them, you listen to those things, you're like, George, I don't think you know what you're talking about actually, because like what they had in mind was great, and then you just ruined it.
You mean like 75% of the time?
Oh come on now, not 75% of the time.
Okay, so you're saying, I get it. This is an argument that we had with McConnell a long time ago. The author cannot be wrong,
what we got here?
Right?
What do you think the story is behind Anakin's father? He has no father. His father is Palpatine.
What do I think the story is? Yeah, what he just said, because it's told to us in the books, essentially.
That's why when even Shmi said there is no father. She just became pregnant. He's the Immaculate Birth. He was birthed from the Force. Yeah,
unfortunately, yeah. Her line actually tells us what it is, and then there's a book called the Darth Plagueis book, which goes into further details. Now, granted, if you don't fully pay attention to that book, you can miss that detail. It's literally there's this quick line that was told to you in the book that during a moment that if you don't correlate Shmi's line to that line in the book, it's almost missable.
Yeah.
Which is that...
one thing that's interesting now that we're on the subject of books is it's really cool. We both have read a ton of Star Wars books, but we've also read different Star Wars books. Yes. So, I have, I don't know if you've really read the Rogue Squadron series.
I do not like the Rogue Squadron series.
I've read basically, the whole Rogue Squadron series.
I read 2 of them and I was like, done.
I've basically touched one whole side of the Star Wars lore.
Yeah.
And then you've, in books, and you've touched this whole other section of it. So, we actually have a vast array of knowledge between us just in the sense that we've covered different subjects.
Yeah. Which is actually really
But
cool.
Then we have some overlap because we both love Bane so much. And Thrawn.
My thing is, I actually really enjoyed the other books because I'm a huge
The new Thrawn trilogy. I just want to throw this real quick. You can finish it. The new Thrawn trilogy is the only good books that have come out since Disney took over.
I don't like Traitor. Traitor's a terrible book.
Is that the third one?
That's the second one.
Okay.
The third one is amazing. The second one is not that good.
I read the first one.
Beautiful.
I still I don't think I've ever finished Tech 2 or 3. I think I've started them. I don't think I ever finished them.
Okay, well, 3, you can skip 2 essentially. You know
really?
Why? No, because it has nothing to do with. I guess it does have to do with Thrawn, but so you take present day Thrawn from the new book series, right?
Yeah.
You meet him. Present day Thrawn into book 2. But then we have the whole book is, which you would think I would like it because the whole book is basically following Anakin and Darth Vader.
What?
Yeah. So
why is Thrawn in it then? Why is it called Thrawn?
Because he meets Anakin in the first book. You remember that first quick line where he was like, "Oh, talking to Palpatine." He's like, "I met a Jedi."
Yeah.
He's like, then he was like, "Who did you meet?" He's like, "Anakin Skywalker, I think is his name." And then that book is that.
The second one
is
that
second
story?
Yeah, that second book is that. And it's just like,
I figured
Disney,
they were
can you stop taking one line and making a full thing out of it?
Well, first off, that's the author's choice. But I thought that line was just basically recanonizing Outbound Flight. I thought that was what the purpose of that was.
They probably are. It was probably a little bit, but like...
But no, you're telling me that it was like, no, it wasn't. We actually go into full detail on what that is later. Allegedly, the new Ahsoka book is good. Don't care. Don't care. Ahsoka sucks.
I had a huge argument with Ahsoka.
No, I'm just kidding. Ahsoka's actually like one of the best characters introduced in what is that? Clone Wars? In the Clone Wars TV show.
Clone Wars, and she continues on to the Rebels.
But let me tell you. I haven't watched.
I've never watched either of them.
And there's also another one. There's Rebels, and there's a newer one. Is it just Rebellion or no?
I thought it was just the newest season of Rebels.
No, they have another one.
Oh my goodness, can they stop?
Yeah, it's Resistance or something like that.
What about Plagueis?
What about Plagueis? What about Plagueis?
Plagueis is an amazing character.
What about Plagueis?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm just going to answer the question as if it was just about Plagueis. Plagueis is amazing.
What about him? What are you asking about? You're just saying, what about Plagueis? Okay, what about Plagueis?
Where did he come from? Don't know.
Where did he come? Well, he's a mun.
I mean, moon.
A mun.
Moon.
It's a mun.
As the father to Anakin.
Plagueis and Sidious are the father to Anakin.
Well, that's actually a highly...
Is a follow-up? That's the follow-up.
That's a highly debated question, honestly. Just because, is Plagueis technically the father? Or
they both together pumped energy into the dark side.
That's why I'm saying it's a highly debated question, because who actually did the thing? Because they both, used the Force, but only one of them was technically doing the ritual. So if you were, let's say...
I will say this is one of those situations where I skimmed the Plagueis book where you read the Plagueis book.
It's fine. But let's say we were doing a dark ritual, right?
Yeah.
And you're the one who comes up with the idea for the dark ritual.
Okay. And then I set things up, and I
start
do all the stuff, and I do the chant, and I'm like, I need you to pump energy.
Then you're like,
into
I don't have enough power. Then you're like, James, can you help me? And I'm like,
I need you to lend
I got
power.
you.
Mm-hmm.
So who would technically be the father? Would it be
Both.
you, the person who set it all up, or the person who's helped?
I'd say it's both.
You still say it's both?
Yeah, it's both. I've always figured, because of that whole situation, that it was both, because they essentially both pumped a ton of dark side energy into the universe with no real direction, and then the Force generated Anakin.
My problem with that is I always assumed they were just trying to create life.
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
But they were...
I don't think they intended Anakin's birth, but then whenever he met Anakin, he sensed his energy. That's what I think.
That's the question. Is like, did Anakin
but that's all I'm really reading into stuff.
Did Anakin naturally have dark energy? Like, why?
Well, no, his midichlorian count is so high that it's basically. I'm assuming what their ritual was is they were basically trying to manipulate the midichlorian, and then the midichlorians are like, oh, and they really gathered immensely in this womb.
Then I'm gonna go super meta.
Okay.
All right. Then being the Sith the way that they were trained and the way they were created, which is essentially passing it down the line, which is from one Sith to the next Sith, where Jedis are like, hey, we mass produce things. Sith they take quality versus quantity, right? So we take our time training.
Yes, exactly.
We take all this moment. And
how'd they pump the Dark Force in? Literally by just emitting Dark Force energy. That's all. Just emitting it. Like,
which is
it's essentially like, think about how they can do force push. It's basically like that, except you're not pushing anything. You're just releasing the energy. You're letting the energy flow through your body and pumping it into the galaxy.
Yeah, which is where we get the idea, or get this line from Yoda, which is that, we've been clouded by the dark side.
Right. They're even
it's literally from them doing what they did, which is admitting all the force into the universe, all the dark side of energy that they could muster at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But
because that's something that we were talking about the other day too. How cool is Qui-Gon Jinn? Because
such a beautiful character.
Even in episode 2 or whatever, they make the Yoda and Mace Windu are talking. Sounds dirty. Yeah, it does sound dirty. Mace Windu and Yoda are talking, and they say, oh yeah, the dark side's clouding our judgment, blah blah. It's been happening for a while,
Yeah.
and you can assume that means for a while. And then you've got Qui-Gon Jinn, who even while the dark side was clouding everyone, he's still following the will of the Force clear as day.
Yeah, which, and if you don't pay attention to it, to the fact that he is actually following the dark side. He's following
Yes,
the
he's
Force.
following the dark side. That's why they
Force
introduced
clearly.
Anakin, yeah.
The
Makes
fact
sense.
that he's following the Force so clearly, because think about it, all the other Jedi's weren't getting prompted to do things. Like, they were always complaining about the fact that they're like, we just don't know what to do, we don't know how this is happening, and yada, yada, yada.
I don't know what that means. Foxy, about an hour?
Well, she asked if how long you've been live.
Oh, Zach's answering for us.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
see that question.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, Foxy, how long have you been live for now? Actually, with this one,
About an hour. I see.
yeah, about an hour, but for total, it's been an hour and 45, and then the one got cut short.
So we're running about 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, we're about 3 hours.
So, okay. But yeah, no, like, I get what you're saying, and the whole idea of, like, what am I doing right now? Anyways.
We were talking about Qui-Gon Jinn able
Yes,
to
thank you.
see...
Thank you. Realign me there, because
Yeah.
I was like, wait a
Being able to
second.
still follow the Force regardless of the
Yeah, we're like, all the other
clouding.
Jedis were talking about the fact that they were clouded, they couldn't see clearly, and Qui-Gon Jinn yet was somehow letting telling Obi-Wan to just trust him that he was going to do things, and like, he was like, yeah, the Force says to do this. He's like, don't worry, trust in the Force. He says that a lot, actually, in the first movie. He's like, just got to trust in it. Just got to do what it's saying. And then all the other Jedis are like, yeah, I don't know what it's saying, man.
Yeah, no clue what's going on.
The dark side's over here just making me muggy as all get out. And he's like, what dark side? What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? There's just the Force.
I think it's Aronauts. Let me look at his YouTube name real quick. Hold on. 'Cause I highly recommend anybody that likes Star Wars to watch these.
like Star Wars theory. Fan theory?
Oh, it has nothing to do with fan theory.
Star Wars theory? I don't know. It's a guy that I watch on YouTube. He's interesting.
What, Star Wars Explained?
No, he's right now he's in the
Star
process.
Wars Historian, I think
No,
is
he's
one.
in the process of not helping. He's in the process of making a
Making your mom.
extra episodes in Star Wars canon.
That's impossible.
Like, it's really weird. Like, he made a couple episodes in the
Auralnauts. 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 He makes a series. It's basically like I've shown you one of them, where he redubs over all 6 movies and edits them around a lot to tell a whole new story, where all the Jedi are a bunch of like drunken people that don't pay their bill and and all the Sith are business owners.
We talked about it earlier. They're just a bunch of dicks.
yeah, and they're like CEOs of corporations and stuff. And like whenever at the end of episode 3, when Darth Vader does the whole like, and Palpatine's like, "Welcome, Darth Vader," or should I say, regional manager? You know, like stuff like that. You know, and one of the best things in that is like whenever they do the Jedi Council scene where Qui-Gon goes before them to be like, yeah, can Anakin come in? Instead of it being that, the whole thing is that everyone's like, we're really, really high right now, but we're running out. We need to find a new dealer. We can't get a hold of our old dealers. And then Qui-Gon's like, I have found us some good stuff. I'll go out and get some good stuff for us. You know, and then whenever there's the scene where, in episode 1 as well, where he tests Anakin and says his midichlorian count, but the only part of that scene is that Anakin goes, "What are midichlorians?" and Qui-Gon goes, "Heroin." So it's like, so throughout the rest of the series,
if you could recast the original 3 episodes, what actors from today's film would you use for what actors? All right, Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Wait, no, the original 3, as in 4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6. Oh. Can I still use Mark Hamill?
No, it's because he's got to be younger.
All right, fine. Younger.
Chris Pratt as Luke Skywalker.
Oh God.
No, wait, sorry, as Han Solo. That'd be better.
No.
Chris Pratt as Han Solo.
Taron Egerton as Han Solo.
Who's that?
Doesn't matter. You don't watch the movies. Okay, for those who do, the Kingsman.
Oh, I wanted to see that. I've wanted to see that. I've heard good things. And there's also The Irishman. I've heard good things about that too.
Dude, that's a great movie. Honestly.
Yeah, I've heard good things about both of those movies.
Taron Egerton is who I would pick for Han Solo.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, granted, I picked him for a young Han Solo, so I'm not entirely sure how he fit in the Han Solo series.
He needs to be a middle-aged Han Solo.
Okay, then maybe Chris Pratt, maybe. Because I would think that would be an interesting character.
I think Chris Pratt could pull it off.
Yeah, I think he could totally do it because he has that moment where he can be serious.
Yeah,
but
he wouldn't need to be very Chris Pratt. He would need to be like I don't know. I don't even know how to put it.
Joe Exotic as
I don't even
Han
know who that
Solo.
is.
Can you elaborate who that is? I have no clue.
Yeah, cite your sources. Leia would clearly have to be Kristen Dunst.
What?
Kirsten Dunst, is that it?
You talking about Spider-Man? Chick?
Wait, who's Kirsten Dunst? It's not the person I think
it is.
The one
who kisses Tobey Maguire?
No, sorry, no, not her. The it should be the Fox.
The Fox.
What's her name?
Megan Fox.
Yes, Megan Fox from Transformers. Megan Fox would be Leia.
No.
No. You would have...
Dude, I'd rather have Tina Fey as Leia.
Brad Pitt as Han Solo. And then you would have Luke Skywalker played by...
are you making a comedy or are you remaking the Star Wars
Hold on, and then... Hold on. I had his name. Luke Skywalker... dude, why not Michael Cera? Yeah. Luke Skywalker's Michael Cera. And then Obi-Wan would be played by...
No, they did that in episode 7.
Obi-Wan would be played by
although the Tiger King.
Who's the dude?
I haven't watched the Tiger King.
Who's the guy? Smaug and
Benedict
Dr.
Cumberbatch?
Strange. Yeah, Benedict. He would be Obi-Wan. Tarkin.
Benedict Cumberbatch is Obi-Wan. He's too young for that role.
They can put a beard on him. Tarkin. It would actually make more sense if he was a little younger, wouldn't it? Considering how young Obi-Wan was in 3, and then all of a sudden he's ancient in 4, and it's only been like 19 years, and they explain it with like, oh yeah, he's dual sons.
He's also like almost 40.
Yeah, perfect age.
No, I mean he's almost 40 in 3.
No, he's like 30 something.
He's almost 40 in 3. He's like 36 years old, almost 40. And then 19 years to almost 20 years.
He looks like a 70-year-old man instead of a 50 or 60-year-old man, right? So we can have Benedict play him. Then Tarkin needs to be played by whoever the
I couldn't do any of this. I couldn't. I would have vomited watching this movie.
Tarkin should be played by who's a British guy that I know.
Martin Freeman? You just want to throw them in there?
No, that wouldn't fit.
You want to do some freaking Tom Holland?
No,
Wait, do you want to add freaking...
Martin Freeman is going to be Vader's voice. Because you still need a tall guy to play him, but you do Martin Freeman as Vader's voice.
He couldn't do that.
No, Tarkin is going to be...
No, who's the guy who plays Kronk?
Oh, God.
Tarkin will be... That could be Darth Vader's voice.
Tarkin will be BoJack Horseman.
All right.
Tarkin will be BoJack Horseman.
No.
What's his name? I love that guy.
I don't know his name.
He was Job.
Yeah, he plays... I don't know.
He's great. I'd have him as Tarkin.
So you were making a spoof of Star Wars.
Fire on the base when ready.
Oh, wait, are you making this... Is it bad that I think this would be a spoof of Star Wars?
No, this will be
or
the most authentic Star Wars ever.
All these actors, I'm like, I could never see them playing these characters because they're not that style. Like, I don't know serious characters that could do a B-rate style movie that could eventually turn into an A-rate movie that wouldn't just make it into Spaceballs.
Robert Downey Jr. as Yoda. That'd be a good one.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Pull the lever, Vader. Yeah. Yes, perfect.
No, I can't honestly think of a single actor in this day and age that I could see playing.
Well, I just gave you an A-list cast.
Yeah, and you gave me an A-list cast, but as I told him, I can't see them doing.
I just put them in really weird spots. Because don't you think you could take those characters, those actors, and be like, okay, let's rearrange you like this, except throw out Megan Fox and recast?
No, because I saw Harold. He's playing Carnage in the new movie.
Woody
Harrelson.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I just saw him.
That was so
I
bad.
saw him in what movie was it that he was in Rogue One, wasn't he?
Was he?
I'm pretty sure that was Woody Harrelson in Rogue One.
Where?
The ship scene where they're on the weird space train. No. Maybe it's Han Solo.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember a space train in Rogue One.
It might be the Solo movie.
There was no space train in Rogue One.
Squeaky, squeaky, squeakum.
Mm-hmm. That would be
Squeaky, squeak.
Wait, who did we give that character to?
Vader's voice?
No, I said that was gonna be Martin Freeman.
I disagreed with you.
Tarkin. That's
You
Tarkin. Yeah, Tarkin's the one doing that.
Yeah, no. Anyways, Woody Harrelson showed up in a Star Wars movie and I didn't like it. It was terrible.
That's why it makes sense for him to be like, pull the lever, Vader, because it's Tarkin.
Well, that's not Woody Harrelson.
Oh, wait. Wait, that doesn't actually fit. It was just funny.
Yeah.
But just to imagine Tarkin saying those lines. But as the guy who does the voice of Kronk.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. Isn't he in also Everybody Loves Raymond? Or is that a different person who has also a deep voice?
Crap. I don't remember. They sound a lot alike, though.
Yeah, because Raymond's brother sounds a lot like the guy who plays Kronk. But
this is why Bear Thing is supposed to be around. Because Bear Thing's supposed to be like on IMDb while we're talking about this kind of crap.
We also have people
there it is.
commenting, which is... I'm loving you guys tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, comments are really making the show so much better. What we got there?
But, so... I think...
it was Woody Harrelson. He was working with Solo.
Okay, so it wasn't the Solo movie, but it was... Yeah, no. He was just so bad. Just like I expect him to be really bad as Carnage.
Oh, it's going to be terrible as Carnage.
Yeah, he's going to be a terrible... Oh.
The only reason I know for a fact he's going to be a terrible Carnage is because the one line they gave him in Venom was, when I get out of here, there's going to be carnage. And it's like, oh, God. We already knew we were setting up for Carnage,
God,
and then you
look
said
at this
it.
pun.
Yeah, because I don't remember exactly.
Was that a pun or was that just a play on words?
I don't remember exactly what the scene was, but I was like, we're being introduced to Carnage.
Yeah,
and even you were like, we're being introduced to Carnage,
that's
and then
what's about to happen.
And then he looks up and he's like, "There's gonna be carnage." We're like, "Oh God, this is awful. This is a terrible idea. Why would you do that? Why would you write that?"
You gave Woody Harrelson balding guys like this curly
red
wigs. Yes. You could see he looks like a clown. He looked like a clown. But anyways, no.
Dude, I can't wait till we get around to reviewing Venom.
I'm so excited to watch that one. Because I want to review that one, too.
We're going to have to... Well, my plan whenever we get around to doing...
That's not important.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I think I'm ready to kind of call it, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, this has been good.
I know we never actually got to the end of our thoughts on Revenge of the Fifth. 3? On the Revenge of the Sith, but that's kind of the trope too, and that's why we have several years to deal with it.
I mean, we have 2 years. We have next year.
Next year we'll do 2 days in a row talking about
Revenge of the Fifth. So we may even because it's who we are. We'll probably hit on Star Wars some point throughout the year. So if you guys join us more live, more episodes.
I feel like throughout the year when we talk about Star Wars, we definitely talk more about like philosophies and characters than we do talk about movies.
Yeah, we definitely talk about the core concept of Star Wars more than what's transpired.
Where today we didn't do a good job at it, but we at least tried to touch on plot points and our thoughts of them.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed. And you guys take care. Have a good night. And we're going to actually try to do more live shows from this point on. So if you guys ever want to join in, we will be setting up a time
What?
slot.
We're not. No, that was not the plan. I never said anything about doing more live shows. We were just doing because it's the 1 year anniversary. We were doing live shows.
Prepare for all the live shows.
No, it was just the 1 year
anniversary.
anniversary.
You press that button.
We're only doing live shows because it's the 1 year anniversary. We're not